All right, all right, all right. That's that little Kevin Hart. All right, all right, all right. So, before we left, welcome back to part 2 of the season premiere, episode 3 or 4, not really sure. This is my thing, bro. I don't know if it's Loki or Jesus that did this to me, but time is a social construct, and to me, it's not reality, right? We have time so that we can understand and comprehend and as cliche as it sounds, like contain time and dates and stuff, but really right now this is a temporary moment on an eternal timeline, because we're on this little dot that's the temporary, but once this is done, it keeps going. And never did it stop prior, because it was already going. We just weren't inserted in yet. You know what I'm saying? I did a freestyle earlier today, and I started talking. I don't know if it was a spoken word or something, and then I got done and I was about to hit send. I was like, bro, I think I just blew my own mind with that. Like, I was like, you got to chill out, bro. You got to pump the brakes. Nice. So before we left, I was talking about how the Christian hip hop in particular media is just invading this dark and broken world where sex, drugs, violence, deception, out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. The tongue has the power of life and death. The radio waves is deceptive death and glorification of disobedience to God. Now, regardless if you're a believer or not, you can still have your opinion, but it's a fact though, Right. So now you look at Sirius FM, where they had one Sunday, this dude that was given, likes of the Menace movement spins. I think Monster Tar versus C4, Dayton got some spins on there. Now you look at Holler Culture Radio, and I feel like it's no surprise, right? After he goes on his hiatus and goes up in the mountains for a couple of years, DJ Wado comes back down with the tablet and his face on, and then Holy Culture Radio says, not only do we want you to have a slot, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if you know or not, but I feel like maybe they have 7 days, a full-time 24-hour channel to where there's different shows. It's not just DJ Wado and his joint. It's Holy Culture Radio, a time slot. And Jesus is going to do what he's going to do with or without us. But the fact that what a humble honor and privilege that we get to partner with him to usher in a kingdom that has no end, bro. Right. I think it's a beautiful time to be alive, and anybody on Twitter or Rapzilla or wherever taking shots at the Christian hip hop space needs to pump the brakes, take the plank out of their eye, because not only are you trashing a culture that's trying to elevate a message, regardless if it's your bag or not. You like John Keith, Eshawn Burgundy, Tunnel Rats, Cross Movement, Humble Beast, whoever you like, it's for the same team under the same banner, right? Facts. And so to me, it's like when you're taking shots at this space, yeah, there's different things like I wish Christian hip hop wasn't like this. I wish they all sounded like Hovey. I wish everybody said Jesus 10 times in 2 bars. You know what I'm saying? The fact of the matter is that not everyone can receive it that way, whether you're into theological rap, parable rap, whether you're into heavy punches, wordplay, similes, all that. It's all wonderful. It's all good. You look at Lutheran, Methodist, Baptist, Catholic, whatever. My late pastor, Danny McLeod, used to say that the body of Christ is a beautiful tapestry, like a blanket. There's all these different blankets, but the blanket is under the banner of Hosanna, under Yeshua, the Ruach HaKodesh, Yahweh, God, Jesus, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. You know what I'm saying? So for me, when you attack the space, you're attacking the body. And when you attack the body, bro, the body is the bride of Christ. Right. That's very serious. Right. And we think we can hop on to say our little 2-line tweet and be cute and people agree with us, like, laugh, hashtag, blah, blah, blah. Bro, you're going to have to give account for your words and your actions on that day. And I know it got kind of intense, but I'm just passionate about it because it hurts my heart. Do I have my discrepancies with certain things? Yeah. even given with the podcast, there's been 2 or 3 interactions where I'm like, oh, maybe I crossed some boundaries. I apologize. I'm new in this. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if we're brother to brother or brother to sister, if the foundation, if our similarity is Christ, let's be adults and let's talk through it. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So I'm going to lighten it up real quick. I want to do what we call just a rapid fire. So I'm going to give you 1 or 2. There may be 3 or 4. And then you can respond. And usually what I like to tell the guest is whatever your first unction is, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the one. Unless it's something like, popcorn or Twizzlers and you got to think about it. And it's like, And then for the ones that you're big on, that you care to elaborate on, feel free. Otherwise, answer, and then I'll keep it moving, okay?
Got you.
All right, so Marines, Army, Air Force, or Navy?
Marines.
Italian or Mexican cuisine?
Mexican.
Okay. Tunnel rats or cross movement? You can always push.
And I don't know, man. I don't know. I love both. I love what each one represents. Just like we're, discussing, they both bring something much needed to not only people who are Christians who listen to hip hop, but also non-believers too. So, best of both worlds. I love both of them.
No doubt. So we'll go warm colors or cool colors. And, you're an intelligent man. I feel like you know the difference. I don't need to. Yeah.
I'd probably go with cool colors.
Okay. So would you go with acrylic, watercolors, or pastels?
Probably pastels.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got one that I feel like is gonna stump you. And you gotta be careful because of the affiliation. You gotta go. So we're gonna go AI the Anomaly or Angie Rose.
I'll say, as of right now, I gotta go with AI the Anomaly because I honestly just haven't dug that much into Angie Rose's music, and that's no knock on her.
Yeah.
She seems extremely talented. I'm just more well versed with AI the Anomaly's music. So yeah, man.
One thing that's beautiful about Angie, what I really love that she's doing right now is her social media marketing, right? Everyone knows the algorithm, reels, good hashtags, done on a bun, numbers through the roof, bringing people back to your page, link tree in the description, go to your Bandcamp, go to your website, purchase, money, rinse, wash, repeat, make another album, Kickstarter, tour. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, we can Google these things. We can do YouTube tutorials. But so now we're going to go professional, basketball, football, baseball, or hockey.
Oh, basketball.
All right. So here we go. John Stockton or Pistol Pete Maravich? Hey, pass first.
Gotta be Pistol Pete.
Okay. This is us. They put us in garbage time, right? Got about two minutes left. We're up by like 7. You got Jay at the 2 guard. Our point guard comes up. They double team him. Give me the ball. Got you on the wing. You're coming out. I get it to you. Get the ball in the 3-point stance, right? So you can pass, you can shoot, you can dribble. What's the first move you're taking? Given the points, we're up by 7. 2 minutes left. Your man comes up. He's like, "What are you doing?"
If he comes out real hot, I'm pump faking and I'm driving past him.
Choom, see you.
Yeah.
See you. What do you think about, I fall in love with this stuff. I told one of my dear friends in New Jersey, I said, listen, you don't understand. Sports aren't just sports for jocks' heads. Like, of course we play it, but there's a narrative going on. Your grandmama used to say, I'm watching my stories. General Hospital has like a 7-year-long narrative. Every season, there's this new narrative, right? And I explained to her, like, you don't understand. It's like a movie too. This is their real life. This is their profession, but this is a story. Sometimes there's romance. Sometimes there's a villain, With Kyrie, I think Kyrie opted in and is staying in Brooklyn. Do you know or not?
I'm not sure yet, man.
Okay.
I think he might be trying to go, but
He put out there 7 teams he wanted to get traded to. None of them have enough cap room except for Philly, I think. KD already put his stamp down. He wants to go to Phoenix if he can. Now, if he goes to Phoenix, I'm thinking that's just on some old Chris Paul type vibes.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that where would you who could KD link up with? What slot could he like a round peg like bloop, and automatically Eastern Conference, Western Conference Finals? Is there a team out there like that, or does there need to be more pieces around him, would you say? And I know this is more than rapid fire now, but
nah, this is a tough one for real. Yeah, I don't know. It would have to be.
what do you think about Denver with
Man, actually, the thing is, I don't know how well he would mesh with Jokic.
yeah.
I guess he's never, because who can we name that's been a real solid big man that he's played with? Because with OKC, he's playing with
Nobody.
Kendrick Perkins.
Right.
Like, he's not the greatest offensively. With, the Nets, yeah, DeAndre Jordan.
I feel like all the big men that KD has played with were like low budget Bill Cartwrights.
I mean, yeah, they were just meant to be complementary pieces. So I mean, hey, it could be interesting to see him with Jokic. It could be helpful to take some of that pressure off.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I saw David. Rest in peace. I saw Adam Silver discussing dropping it from 19, 1 year removed from college, back down to 18. Good move, bad move. What do you think?
And I go back and forth on that. On one end, I'm like, for the guys that are ready, what's 1 year of college really going to make that much of a difference with? But
and they could break their ankle.
Injuries, right? In college, at the same time, I feel like it can hurt the college game a little bit, but at the same time, now you have all of the endorsement money that college players are able to pick up from, being sponsored by whoever.
Yeah.
I don't know. My biggest thing is just when money gets involved too quickly,
yeah,
it usually taints the
product.
The product, the love for the game starts to slowly dwindle down.
Yeah.
And it's more just, I gotta make this money. And at the same time, it's like, hey, if you are in a position where you need to make money really quickly, how could I fault someone for trying to go and make money? But once it gets to a certain point, it's just getting out of control, So
yeah, that's
a tough question.
For sure. Would you say, would you go 2K or would you go Madden?
2K, definitely.
I feel like, and whatever, people are people, but I feel like the younger generation, it's 2K all day, because I've had Madden since 92 Sega Genesis. You feel me?
Wow.
So when 2K came around, there wasn't a 2K yet. I had NBA Live 97. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I loved NBA Live when I was young. I took NBA Live over 2K any day, and pretty much everybody did. It was just a better game.
Yeah, yeah. So would you go, speaking on Sega Genesis, would you go Sega Genesis or Super Nintendo? Or is that out of the era of where you wouldn't even really have an answer?
Man, interestingly enough, my part-time job is working at a place called CD Trade Post, which is basically like a music, video games, movie spot. So yeah. I talk about this type of stuff all the time, just even before I worked there. But so the first console I ever played, I believe, was the Sega Genesis, because I have older brothers. Okay. I want to say it would have been like Sonic 2 or something like that. Sonic Adventures, one of those early games on the Sega Genesis. Yeah. I never had a Super Nintendo, so I would just have to go with the Sega Genesis.
For sure. Yeah. Now, would you go, I assume you are, like I say, you seem very well spoken. Would you go, do you go movies, or do you err more on the side of books? And for me, I'm both. Like, I feel like on some old Al Bundy, Love and Marriage, you can't have one without the other type.
When I was younger, I loved reading books. And I mean, I don't dislike reading books now. Yeah. I've just definitely grown more accustomed to watching movies. So I'd have to go with movies.
Sure. So with that, would you go with the Chronicles of Narnia movies, or would you go with Middle Earth, Tolkien, Lord of the Rings movies?
Hey, I love the Chronicles of Narnia because growing up, my mom used to read me those books before I would go to sleep. And
Oh, bro.
Incredible series. But Lord of the Rings, man.
So let me ask you this, and I say with all sincerity, if you don't want to reveal the truth, that's fine. Whether it's the Holy Spirit or whether it's your own psyche, have you ever been to Narnia in your sleep? Like, have you ever had a dream where you're like, Aslan, is that you?
Nah, man. I wish that would be a pretty dope dream.
Bro, that's what I'm closing with in prayer for you tonight. I'm closing with that. We're gonna see if you can holler at Prince Caspian tonight, bro. So, you know, a lot of times I'll ask everyone, you know, if there's a particular topic you want to talk about, feel free. But I really have enjoyed our conversation. You know I told you to bring a few things. I don't know if you did, but I have 4 things I want to briefly bring up. You know, and we're talking about books and movies, so this could go to both. But the first thing I want to show is this right here. So we got the Divergent and Allegiance from Victoria Roth. I have the other 2. I think one is 4. And then so Divergent, Allegiant, and whatever the other one is. Are you familiar with this series at all or no?
I've definitely heard of Divergent.
Okay.
But
So
I've never read the books, never seen the movie.
Next time you get a Netflix and chill or Hulu and do what you do, or HBO Max and relax, whatever it's on, watch it. They have all 3, and I guarantee you 30 minutes into the first one, and do it in order too, because some people get, I think it's erroneous to do that. It's a felony. It's felony.
I agree.
To do that, bro. So yeah, check that out. You know, your next time, I recommend it. So that was the first thing I wanted to show, and then the second thing I wanted to show. I mean, you know, this is crispy when there's little like I don't know, candy stuff on it. But what you know about this right here?
Propaganda, which out of nowhere, is that the debut album?
That's the debut from Tunnel Rat Music.
Man, why is that not on streaming services, man?
So I think, and like I said, I can't speak out of term, I don't know, but we're media, quote unquote, I can cover it. You know, he didn't leave the Tunnel Rat family.
Right.
Contractually, I think he left Tunnel Rat Music, where he released Out of Nowhere, as well as I Am Not Them, which was a 7-series EP. Get this, bro. The 7 series was supposed to be every 7 weeks, a 7-track EP from every solo artist in Tunnel Rats. I got I Am Not Them, which was the first one, Freedom, which was Macho, and Planet Doc. I think Triune, who's gonna be on the show in a couple weeks, or actually a couple days, I think Triune was supposed to be on one. He was on the Foot Soldiers album with Rafi, Propaganda, I think a cat named Issues. There's a light-skinned dude, I'm trying to think of his name, Deadeye, maybe, I think, and one more cat. So it was 5 of them, and Dax. And then they did the Life album with KRS-One. Have you ever heard that?
I haven't heard it, but I've heard of that album. Yeah,
bro. I think Dax and a small team, and maybe Rafi and Macho were the executive producers of it. It was executive produced by something like and this is completely wrong, but something like The Battalion, or like something like that. So yeah, so I wanted to share that, you know what I'm saying, that propaganda joint, bro. And then last but not least, just so everybody knows, I ain't telling no lies around these here streets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's that little 2-guard out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I something that I wanted to touch on that you spoke on when money gets involved, right? In terms of professional athletics. And even, you know, when you're 18 years old, unless you're a freak, you're going to be a boy amongst men. You know what I mean? You're talking about a 32-year-old man who has probably been doing training and conditioning since he was 12 in AAU. You're a year removed from AAU. You think Bron ain't going to toss you around on that little block, bro? Now, I had such high hopes for him, and I feel like he was praised as the next LeBron. But what happened with Ben Simmons, bro? You think it's just a broke jump shot and like lack of tenacity and commitment, or what is his deal?
Man, I mean, it's tough to say with him. It could be, a combination of the limelight getting to him too early. Maybe just the off the court things that we don't know anything about.
Yeah.
Teammates that he doesn't get along with, coaching, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard because as fans, it's easy to go, why is this dude not getting it? Why is he not even reaching half the potential that he was supposed to hit? While being on these teams where he has complementary pieces, I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, I'm a Laker fan.
No doubt.
So I don't really have love for the Sixers like that. So it's like, Ben Simmons, get out of here. Like,
get out of here.
Nah.
Yeah.
I've never really been much of a fan of his anyway. But I don't know, man. It's if it genuinely is him dealing with injuries, mental health issues, then I can't hate on that. It's hard to fight through injuries. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yeah, you still would expect someone that had that much hype around him, fairly or unfairly, to perform a lot higher than what he's done.
Yeah. Now, I if you want to briefly touch on this, I don't know. I just feel an unction, but speaking of like mental health, right? As human beings, that has been such a taboo topic for many years. I think mental health really started exploding on the scene. Not that it has never been there, but light kind of came to it maybe in the early or mid 90s. You think about Britney Spears shaving her head, doing that. You think about Charlie Sheen twinning, I'm drinking, blood or whatever. You think about Alec Baldwin, all these breakdowns. You think about these mass murders that they get arrested and they get cheeseburgers and they say, oh, he was mentally ill. But then you think of, we're not afraid to go here, RPR is reality, but you think of unarmed Black children or a young kid where there's an open carry law. You can have an open carry. He was 12 years old, open carry, and it was a toy. And they drew down on him and killed him in cold blood. But the man that just shot 15 people in a church, I believe Ebenezer Baptist Church in South Carolina, who happens to have a lighter shade of pigment of skin, gets taken in without force, gets some cheeseburgers, a large Coca-Cola, and he's the victim because he's mentally ill.
Yeah.
I think, the word talks about having just scales of balance in the world, right? Obviously we don't. Even within the body of Christ, because we are human and we aren't fully compassionate, fully merciful, fully, those things. But what would you say? And I would, you could take it wherever you want to go, whether it be sports, whether it be CHH, because I'm sure that there are some diagnosed and undiagnosed CHH artists, because CHH artists are believers and believers are human and humans have mental health struggles. Anything, do you have anything to kind of add to, I guess, those observations? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times this is a taboo topic. Even in the church, we don't address it. And I think about people like Jackie Hill Perry and her husband, Preston Perry, and they have the shirts that say Jesus and therapy.
I love that. No, 100%. I love that. I'm actually hoping to get one of those shirts soon. I've been thinking about
one. I'm getting one, bro. Yeah.
Nah, I feel that. And yeah, like, I'm someone who just went to therapy for the first time in my life in December.
Okay.
So like, I'm no stranger to, these battles. Now I can say that, especially for someone in their 20s, like, it's getting a whole lot better when it comes to being a bit more understanding, just having layman's terms for people to better understand and relate to themselves when dealing with, someone, maybe a friend, a family member who might be dealing with something. Whereas it may have been a bit different even 10 years ago, where it's like someone says, yeah, I struggle with anxiety or depression. And they're like, really? Really? And yeah, man, but especially in terms of music, hip hop in general and Christian hip hop, you know, it's been real dope to see the topics being covered more. Now, of course, there comes even the downside of that, which is we even have artists who exploit that type of thing, which is really, really disgusting to see. You know, it's almost become like a hot topic, even because of the positive is, yes, more people are talking about it. It's becoming less taboo. We're having more resources, beautiful things, very thankful for that. But then we're also having people who glorify depression in their music. They glorify negative ways of coping, or they even just, maybe they don't even fully deal with depression, anxiety, whatever it is, OCD, whatever. And they're making music that is just, you know, it's intentionally marketing towards people who actually do struggle with these types of things. And it's easier for especially younger fans too, who are more impressionable. They latch on to artists like that because they think, oh wow, I can really relate to what this person is saying. Come to find out, that artist is just, you know, chasing a bag or whatever. And it's hard, but I think ultimately the good does outweigh the bad when it comes to you know, especially in terms of music, covering topics related to mental health. So
yeah, for sure. I think, you know, while we were talking, and thank you for that, bro. I feel like that's that's a very balanced perspective, and I love your word choice, that it's disgusting that someone would exploit something that is so detrimental to so many human beings. I myself have struggled with mental health in the past, and I've even shared on the show before that, you know, there's been a time or two, like I have a song where I said, I've literally lost my mind a time or two. Someone talking mental health, I can empathize with you. Bro, I've experienced moments of psychosis, and that shit is scary. Imagine, like, it could be whatever it is catered to, you know, specific to the person, but imagine living through an episode of not Tim Curry, but new version It, the movie It, in part 2 It. But the delusion is so real, and the psychosis is so real that you feel like that it's like that. Now, granted, there wasn't no scary clown, but you see what I'm saying, the concept. And so for someone to peddle and say, like you said, let me go get this bag and talk about this. But the 5 things that came to mind is coping, right? Self-medicating. You think about, you know, alcohol, marijuana, pills. But then you have some of the glorious stuff with Eminem, with recovery. You know, not necessarily the album. He got hated on for some of that his music lost his this, that, and the third. You got Kanye West, bipolar is my superpower, something of that nature. Kanye did come out. Obviously, he's a huge mega superstar. Clinically diagnosed, taking his pills, but not only because he's a celebrity, is his every move tracked and whatever, but you know, he's, you know, going on his Instagram post, doing this, that, and the third. Not even to mention his family. Like, take the mental health out of it, but just his family situation and just the celebrity of the hoopla. Like, I would be surprised if he didn't have no mental health issues.
Absolutely.
I heard a pastor say that we weren't designed for stress. Stress wasn't part of God's plan for us in the fullness of, what does Jesus say? I came to give them abundant life and life to the full, right? And he says, don't worry about tomorrow, this, that. That was a command for us not to worry, because he's Jehovah Jireh. He'll provide us. He'll give us our peace. He'll give us wisdom. He said, if any of you lacks wisdom, ask me. You know, in the book of James, ask me and I will generously give without finding fault. But if you ask, you must believe that the one in whom you ask is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we weren't designed for this, you know, but then you look at the likes of Mac Miller, you look at the likes of Juice World. You look at the likes of, I think he's out of the limelight now, but like Lil Xanax or whatever his name was. You know, and then not to mention, if, you know, cocaine is your thing, or you're shooting up heroin or whatever, some of this stuff is laced with fentanyl, you know. It's very crazy, bro. And I look at Amsterdam and other places where drugs are legal, right? They're legal. They give you syringes. They make sure it's healthy. And in some weird, bizarro multiverse of madness, it has led to less overdoses. It has led to less crime. I've heard from different friends that even in these European countries and other countries, they don't even have gun problems. You know what I'm saying? The dudes with the big hats, I don't know what they're called, the big black, they look like a big microphone in the red. They just stand there with like, probably just like a plastic gun with a little knife on it. They stand there for 8 hours, get a check, go home, because nobody got guns in England. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, man.
I'm sure somebody got a little pea shooter or something. You know what I'm saying? But bro, like I said, man, I've really enjoyed this conversation. I do have two parting questions. And the first one, I kind of want to dip into music, because I'm sure that you know, whoever knows who you are and what you're about, that's probably one of the things they came to hear your perspective on. Give me 3 groups, and they don't have to be CHH, groups or solo artists, that give me 1 that you're rocking with now, 2 that's your favorite, and 3, 1 that you feel like is an all-time. And keep in mind in the timestamp, we got about 8 minutes. So I want you to share, but I also want to be able to have a back and forth with you so we can elaborate on your answers. Yeah.
So are we talking, you just said groups or individual?
Groups or solo artists. Do me a favor, throw in a group, throw in a solo artist, and then grab bag.
Got you. If we're going group, man.
There's so many.
You know, here's a group that I don't know if I can say all time just because I don't know their music quite as well, but someone who I've been rocking with a lot recently is a group called Logic.
Okay.
It's spelled LOJIQUE. Yeah.
Have you ever heard the Light of Illumination or something like that? Was their old.
The first album. Oh man, yeah. And I'm a huge fan of recordings. I've
love them.
Only just gotten familiar with their stuff about a year ago, which is crazy. So I've been just going back listening to the classic stuff.
You have an amazing journey ahead of you with that.
Oh man, no, it's exciting.
You know, Plastic or Josh, you know, founder of Sphere of Hip Hop, mess around with Uprock Records. That's when I first came to Christian hip hop. It was in 2003, but the album I think came out 2001. Uprock Records Volume 1, Volume 2 mixtapes. That's where I got my first taste, and I sent off a little form. Got like 8 elect albums. And Logic, the Light of Illumination or whatever, was one of them. I didn't know it was a group though. I thought it was just is it an MC and a producer, right?
So I think the first album may have just been Oze Moore and whoever was the DJ, maybe producer.
Wow, but I didn't know that.
Nichols Hawkeye is a part of the group, and then they added someone else along the way. But I'm only familiar with their first 2 albums.
Okay.
So yeah, forgive me for the other member or members.
We can Google that, find out. Right. We can throw the link right there in the bottom.
Yeah, and someone who I've been rocking with big time lately. I was blessed to have him on my show last week. C4 Crotona. Oh man, like he's crazy with the bars. I love the.
I can't stop shaking my head, bro.
Nah, he's incredible. But yeah, not only is he amazing lyrically, but you know, he picks the right beats. He's got, you know, obviously he has a heart for trying to reach the lost, preaching Jesus in his music. He's not ashamed to do that. But he does so in a way that I have bumped his music in front of my friends who aren't Christians even. I bumped his music in front of people who are Christians, you know, and
then they say, who's that? Who's that?
No, they're like, yo, who is this guy? Like,
exactly.
Nah, I haven't been able to bump him around too many people yet, but I have been able to bump him around a few, and I haven't had any negative responses. So
was your first interaction with him, and we're coming under 4:30, was your first interaction with him the Renounce EP, or did you hear Menace Movement stuff, or when was your first?
The first time was the 48 Hours EP.
With him and Say La. I remember I watched, I watched y'all's episode when y'all were talking, and when you said that, I was like, I understand. Everybody comes in at different times, but I'm like, bro, go back, and then
I've definitely gone back and listened to everything. I mean, he's knocked everything out of the park.
Okay, no doubt. Yeah. So I love C4 because he's like, I like the one line, and I'm gonna butcher. He was live one day, right? He's asking questions. He's like, yo, you know, that raspy, you know, he's like, so I made a song about the Bone Collector, but I wasn't sure if the punchline was hitting right. So I had to go back and watch the movie The Bone Collector. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, and it, you know, I had hit him up after the live. I'm like, did you know what the research? You know, I'm an MC too. So I'm like, he's like, bro, I was right. I got it right. I made sure my reference was right. You know what I'm saying? And I like the one. He has so many quotables, bro. He has so many quotables, and he's got this one line. I think it was on the Johnny P. Caddy freestyle, which is the Benny the Butcher and J. Cole song. I don't even think it was. He's got so many, but he says some stuff like, "I had to cut him off like Katana because I'm not a fan," or something like that. And then he's like, "Oh," he said, "Now she grown now. Wiggling or only fans like whoa," or something. And it's like,
nah, incredible.
He's a problem. And listen, I know Dayton has amazing plans for that, brother, because I almost had cut you off when you were saying in the beats and this, that, third. What I thought where you were going, and I feel like this is still where you would acknowledge is his heart, right? The fact when you hear his testimony about his mother and how she was praying for him and keeping him covered in prayers, and you know, and this is his story to tell, but that she was with the man who was professing Christian and he took his mother's life, and then about his wreck in the truck, and the fact that he still was driving trucks to this day, and he's struggling with, you know, mental health, anxiety, feel like he's having a panic attack or feel like he's having a heart attack. They're like, no, son, you're having a panic attack. And right. he's a young man too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we got 2 minutes. Do you got one more in you, or what do you think?
Sure,
yeah. Let me hear what who would be your last reference?
You know, I think I'm gonna have to go with the Tunnel Rats right now, just because, man, like, not only am I just a huge fan of their music, but I've been extremely fortunate to have been able to interview Sojourn, you know, Shamesworthy. Like, yeah. I'm hoping to be able to connect with many more of the members moving forward. And, you know, I think it's even Propaganda, like, it's incredible to see him still making music, and he's not the only one. Like, right. Journey Big just dropped there was a remix of a song that Journey
with
Big
oneself,
right.
And I don't think it wasn't Sadat X.
It was okay. It was New Self remixed it, it was Journey Big and Sadat X. Like,
the gentleman I had on yesterday, his name is Sean Torre, and he's a local and global MC out of Baltimore that I met out there. Just did a song with Sadat X that'll be on his album coming up. Now, how are you feeling? I want to still come back in so we can close out, but I won't, like I said, I won't keep you, but I always like to have good little chunks. So, the free Zoom will give you 40 minutes. I ain't about to pay to talk to somebody, or, you know what I'm saying? I might have to. Next year, next couple months, I might have to, but we'll be right back. We'll be right back, bro.
Absolutely.
All right, cool.